long before written history touched the shores of eastern Africa. The Batembuzi were a medieval civilization in the Lake Victoria Nyanza region, as the first kings of Banyoro over 2,000 years ago, with their reign dating back to Africa's Bronze Age, before kingdoms rose with stone and iron, before the great empires drew their borders across the land. There was myth, there was legend, there was a people the world called the Batembuzi. In the oral traditions of Banyoro, Toro, and Kole, Rwanda, and Karagwe, the Batembuzi are spoken of not simply as kings, but as gods who walked among men. A civilization so ancient, so powerful that their story has survived for over 2,000 years through the spoken word alone. Their name means harbingers, pioneers, and that is exactly what they were. The Batembuzi were a medieval civilization in the Lake Victoria Nyanza region of eastern Africa. They are credited by oral tradition as the originators of the Empire of Kitara, one of the oldest and most far-reaching state systems in the history of the East African interlacustrine region. Their reign is said to date back to Africa's Bronze Age, more than 2,000 years ago, making them the first kings of what would become the Banyoro kingdom. Yet the Batembuzi were unlike any rulers who came before or after them. According to those who kept their stories alive, the Batembuzi did not die, they did not age, they did not fall in battle. When their time on Earth was done, they simply disappeared, descending into the underworld or rising back into the heavens from which they came. They were superhumans, beings from another realm sent to bring order to the Earth. Where did the Batembuzi originate? Scholars suggest they may have come from what is today Sudan or Ethiopia, carried southward by the great migrations of early African peoples. But this remains uncertain, veiled by the same mythological mist that shrouds so much of their story. What we do know from oral tradition is this. In the time of the Batembuzi, the world was divided into two great realms: the heavens, where the divine ruled, and the underworld, the earth below, inhabited by those cast out of heaven. It was from the heavens that the first of the Batembuzi descended. His name was Ruhanga, the creator. Ruhanga was more than a king. He was the creator, the divine origin of all things. And from him descended the long lineage of Batembuzi kings, each carrying the sacred bloodline of heaven. First came Ruhanga, who founded the dynasty and set the cosmic order, then Unkia, the brother of Ruhanga, who remained on earth to rule when the creator returned to the heavens. Kakamatwail, son of Enkia, who expanded the territory of the kingdom. Bada, son of Kakama. Ngonzaki, son of Bada. And finally, Isaza Waraga Rugambanabato, the last of the true Batembuzi kings. In total, oral tradition remembers 22 kings of this dynasty, 22 rulers of the divine bloodline. But it is the story of Isaza that has echoed loudest through the centuries. Isaza was a king unlike any other. He was known across the land for one consuming passion, the hunt. Day and night he roamed the wilderness, speaking not with the elders who held the wisdom of the kingdom, but with the young warriors and hunters who matched his restless spirit. This earned him a nickname that would follow him through history, Rugambanabato, he who talks only with the young. But Isaza had another great love besides the hunt, his prized cow, Bihogo. It was this cow that would seal his fate. One day Bihogo vanished. Isaza, unable to bear the loss, set out in search of her, descending deeper and deeper into unknown territory. What he did not know was that he was being drawn into a trap, lured by the cunning of Nyamiyonga, the king of the underworld. In the kingdom of the underworld, Isaza met Nyamate, the daughter of Nyamiyonga. He married her. And there, beneath the surface of the earth, Isaza remained. The great king of the Batembuzi never returned to the world above. The Batembuzi era had come to an end, not with conquest or fire, but with a descent into legend. With Isaza gone, the throne of Banyoro fell into uncertain hands. Bukuku, a commoner, a mere gatekeeper, seized power. He was not of the royal bloodline, he had no divine claim, but he ruled nonetheless. But the bloodline of the Batembuzi was not finished. Before Isaza was fully lost to the underworld, he had fathered a son, Isimbwa. And Isimbwa, born between two worlds, would find his way back to the surface. His son in turn would be the one to change everything. Ndahura, grandson of Isaza, child of the underworld and the earth, rose up and overthrew the usurper Bukuku. And in doing so, he established the next great chapter of this empire's story, the Bachwezi dynasty, the empire that the Batembuzi founded and that the Bakwezi carried forward became the Kitara Empire. A kingdom so vast it stretched across what are today Uganda, the northern regions of Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, eastern parts of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, and Malawi. The history of Kitara is considered by scholars to be one of the oldest state systems in the entire East African interlacustrine region, and it is typically understood through three founding peoples, the Batembuzi, the Bachwezi, and the Babiito, each dynasty building upon the last, each generation carrying forward a story that began with gods descending from the heavens more than 2,000 years ago. Today, the sites associated with the Batembuzi and their successors remain sacred landmarks. The Amaberega Nyinamwiru caves near Fort Portal, where stalactites drip like ancient milk, are steeped in the legends of this era. The ancient earthworks of Bigobia Mugenyi stand as silent witnesses to the administrative brilliance of the Bachwezi, who succeeded the Batembuzi, monumental structures built without modern machinery, covering miles of landscape. And on the sacred hill of Mubende, the Nakayima tree still stands, the ancient shrine left behind when the great king Ndahura abdicated his throne. Worshippers and pilgrims visit it to this day, a living thread connecting the present to a past that stretches back beyond memory. The Batembuzi are known to have been the pioneers of development, not only in Uganda but across Africa and beyond. Despite the absence of written records, their cultural and mythological importance in the Banyoro-Kitara region has shaped the historical identity of an entire people. Were the Batembuzi real? Were they gods? Were they brilliant rulers whose deeds, stretched across centuries of retelling, took on the color of myth? Modern scholars approach them through two lenses. Mythologically, the Batembuzi represent the spiritual origins of the people, the creation of social order from divine authority. Historically, they likely represent the earliest Bantu-speaking groups who established organized agricultural and pastoral societies in the Great Lakes region. Perhaps the truth is both. Perhaps the most extraordinary people in history always become legend. The Batembuzi occupy a unique space in East African history as the foundational figures of the Banyoro-Kitara Empire. Their story is a fascinating blend of oral tradition, spiritual mythology, and early political history. A lineage that blends the divine with the human, laying the spiritual and political foundations for the great Kitara Empire and its successor kingdoms. They were the harbingers, the pioneers, the ones who came before. And though they disappeared into the underworld, they never truly left. Their legacy lives in the land, the people, and the stories that refuse to be forgotten. History is rarely as simple as the textbooks suggest. If you enjoy deep dives into the strategies and stories of the ancient world, subscribe to follow the full journey. Don't miss the next chapter.